Let's talk about handwriting on the iPad, how to get good-ish handwriting, what screen protectors I use, and what pencil tips I use. Okay, so we're going to talk all about handwriting today. The first thing I want to share is one thing I think people see it from a distance like this and they think your handwriting looks so good. And it does, it looks okay, but when we zoom in, it doesn't look as good as I think you guys think it does. So we're gonna zoom in and we're gonna look. So as you can see, like it's not really perfect. Like you can see, like that looks kind of like if I was writing, like actually lettering, I would not be happy with a lot. Like look at that A, how bumpy it is. Okay, so let's see. Look at that S. I mean, this. So some of it does not look good, but I think when you're zoomed out, we can look at it and be like, yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good. So I want to say that first of all is a lot of the people that are like, your handwriting looks so good. I'm like, it does, but it's not perfect. And that's just because of I'm writing on a screen, right? We're all writing on glass basically. So let's look at what my actual handwriting looks like in person. Okay, so let's look at what my handwriting looks like on paper. So this is what it looks like. Again, it's not perfect, okay, but I do prefer it. So this is what it looks like on paper. These are just like all my Bible notes. But I do like it better on paper. And so I will say the one thing that really held me back from digital planning is the handwriting thing. I actually would go and I would just like open up a plain document and I'd try to write, and I hated my handwriting so much that I could not. I was like, I'm not going to do this. Like, I don't like it. So how am I supposed to write? So that was what held me up. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to try different pencil like widths within GoodNotes. And then I'm going to try different pencil tips and screen protectors and see what I like. And so now I feel like I'm at a place where I do like it. Again, it's not perfect, but I do like it. So let's see. First, we'll talk about pencil tips. So I use the Apple, this is the Apple Pencil Pro, and you can see that it's not the pencil tip that came with it. I don't think it wants to focus. And then this is also an Apple Pencil like second generation. So I do not use the pencil tip that came with it. I use other ones. So like this one is one that came with it. Okay, and then these are just ones I purchased. So they just have different tips. Like they just have a bunch of different tips. Okay, and then I also have these, like I just have a ton. Now I change mine often, but I letter, like I'm a letterer. So I change mine probably once a month. If you're just doing GoodNotes, taking notes, maybe I would say like every month or two, like 2 months, 3 months, you could change it, but I would recommend changing it. So that's the biggest thing is I like my handwriting a lot better with these tips. So I recommend the tips. I would not recommend using pencil tips without using a screen protector because it will scratch your screen. So I was using the pencil tips and I had a screen protector and I just noticed all these scratches all over my screen. And so I took the screen protector off and it was just on the screen protector. So the screen is fine, but it does scratch. I don't feel like it scratches a ton when you're writing. I feel like it scratches more when you drag stuff. So especially in Procreate, when I'm dragging like color, like there's a color toolbox up here and I'm dragging it across to different things, it was scratching the screen. So my tip is the pencil tips, but also screen protectors. So I have three screen protectors I purchased, and this is not an ad. I bought all of these myself. My favorite is Paperlike, which it is expensive. Like it's a little ridiculous. It's like $45 for two of them. And so I did not buy this at first, and so I bought a bunch of others. So I bought this AstroPad rock paper, and then I bought this one, which was like a cheaper version that's kind of supposed to be like Paperlike. I did not like this one at all. It was really rough to write on. And so I did not like this one at all. And so I ended up doing Paperlike, and I love Paperlike. So what I do is on my big iPad, I have Paperlike because that's the one I use the majority of the time. On this small one, this is my mini. I don't use my mini as often. And so I have this rock paper one and it's okay. This one's a little unique in the fact that you can take it, it's like magnetic, so you can take it off. And then like if you're recording or you're, you know, just wanting to read or something and you want like more resolution, better resolution, you can do that. But then when you're ready to write, you can just like stick it on. I don't love it because like as you can see, like dirt can very easily like get under there real quickly. And so again, not my favorite, but I don't use this iPad all the time. I use this one. So Paperlike is the one I would recommend. Like just invest in it. You get two of them. I don't change them that often, and so they've lasted me a while. But that's the one I really like. Okay, so tips, pencils, and then in GoodNotes. I would say what I really recommend is, and I'm gonna write on both so you can see the difference in the screen protectors if there is one. But one thing I would say is, I'm just using my prayer journal because I know I have blank pages. Okay, one thing I would say is test the different pen tips and see what you like. Because I know for me, as you can see in my writing, I use a very thin pen when I write. I like thin pens. I do not like thick pens. And so I knew that's what I needed was a thin pen. So I would say this is what I did. I sat here and I tried all the different things. I tried the fountain pen, I tried ball pen, and I tried brush pen. And you can just try it and like write something, right? So like I'm just gonna write my name. Okay, and then I would try different tips and like see what I liked. I don't like how bouncy that is. You see that little like, what is that? Okay, so that's the fountain pen. And then the ball pen. Okay, and then the other one is what? Brush pen. And test all the things, like test, you know, like putting up the pressure sensitivity. What's that do for you? Like, I don't like the way that looks at all. Like, I do not. I do not like that at all. So anyways, that's what I did. I sat here and I just continued to try different things. So for me personally, I use the ball pen and I use a few different settings. I use really, again, very thin. 0.1 is the main one I use. If that's a little light for me, there are times where I'll use this one, which is 0.2. And then the thick one I use is 0.4. And I really only use that like if I have a to-do list. So like, you know, I write call doctor and then I will like cross it out. I don't ever write with this one because again, like personally, I don't feel like that. And again, guys, I'm a letterer. You guys might be like, yes, you're crazy. I know. Okay, this is what I do for a living though. I write, and so like to me, my handwriting, it's like super important. But you guys, some of you guys did request this, so I'm gonna talk about it. But just don't judge me for my crazy like writing. But I don't think this one looks as good. Okay, I like this one better. And so that's just my personal opinion. So that's what I do. So again, it's the ballpoint pen, and I do 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, so anyways, we're gonna write something. And the nice thing about this is like, you can obviously erase really easily. I will also say, do you notice this? You notice this little thing? I will say, I think it's the Apple Pencil Pro. I don't know if you guys have the Pro. Like this is the Pro. The other one is the second generation. It kind of gives it like a little like, I don't like it, but I don't know how to get away from it. Like it just kind of tries to like do little like swirls for you like that. Okay, so I wrote something down. Let's zoom in so you can see. Okay, again, not perfect, but when I'm far away, it like is okay. Doesn't bother me. So that was in the 1 inch thickness. Okay, here's my other iPad. And I think I have it, yeah, set to 1, 2, same settings. And again, this is a different screen protector and probably a different, the tips might be the same. They're just different colors. So it's kind of a different feel when you write on this too. It feels a little rougher, but I will say it did not do, as you can see, it did not do that little like swirly thing that this one did, like with the S that it tried to do. Oops, sorry. That it tried to do with the S and the, like, it did not do that for this one. So, I would say both of them are pretty good. I just don't love writing on it because this one's smaller, but this screen protector is pretty good too. I think let's look at like how much brightness I have. So this is half brightness and this is half brightness. But if you look at them, this one looks a lot brighter. Now, these are different. Like this one is the different chip and it's a Pro. So maybe that's the reason. But I do, yeah, I do feel like this kind of dims it a little bit though. So just to keep that in mind, that it does kind of make it like duller, you know, like not as bright. But yeah, that's what the two things do. So I would say like I like either one. I really like the paper like feel. Again, I think that little swirly thing is from the Pencil Pro, not necessarily from the tips or anything else because I'm using the same program, same everything. So I think that's just like a feature of the Pro. But yeah, that's how I do handwriting. I just practiced a lot. Like I really did. This is what I did. I'd like get a notebook and practice, but just like get your different, you know, if you've got the screen protectors and you've got the different tips, then just, you know, open up if you're using GoodNotes or whatever you're using. I think a lot of you guys are using GoodNotes that message me about the handwriting. And then just try each one and write different things and then just see what you like. So anyways, that was a short video, but I hope that was helpful in improving your handwriting on GoodNotes.